History in the making, taking a live look this morning at the Kennedy Space Center, where I grew up there in Florida. From just hours from now, astronauts are going to be lifting off from U.S. soil for the first time in more than a decade. That is, of course, if the weather can hold up. Now, we do have team coverage of this exciting mission for you this morning. Our Jim Castillo is standing by. He's going to let us know how that weather is holding up. But first, we want to get out to our Savannah Louie, and she explains why this launch is extra special for the St. Louis area. Good morning, Savannah.
Hey, Allie, you know, it's pretty interesting. One of the astronauts is actually from St. Anne area, Bob Benken. He actually went to Pattonville High School. We're told he was a normal kid. You know, he went to school dances and concerts, all that stuff. He even tried out for the football team, but he was also extremely bright and the kind of kid that you would see taking all those advanced science classes, right? So this is actually going to be Bob's third time up in space for a mission that's 6 years in the making. This mission will test the SpaceX transportation system. It's the final test before the system can be certified for a regular commercial crew flight. Now, I spoke with one of Bob's good friends yesterday. He said that COVID-19 is slightly impacting the launch. The astronauts had to quarantine for 14 days and they've had limited communication. In the past, Bob's friends and family have watched his launches in person from Florida, but this time they'll watch a private web screening.
As opposed to being down in Florida and seeing it in person, we're going to see it on a little TV. But it's an incredibly important event. So we also got some dehydrated ice cream and some Tang to make it a party.
And if you want to make it a party of your own, anyone can watch the launch from NASA TV. That's going to be at 3:33 our time, and you can watch that at nasa.gov. Now, I'm also told that Bob regularly comes to St. Louis after he completes these missions. He's even come to Pattonville High School to speak to some of those students about his experiences. So parents, if you have kids that go here, that could be something you want to remember and look out for when he returns. Reporting live from Pattonville High School, Savannah Louie, 5 on your side.
Man, that is so cool. All right, Savannah, thanks. We want to bring in Jim now because, Jim, as we know, the weather has the power to cancel these launches, and it happens quite often with it being in Florida. So what do you think the conditions are going to be like for that launch?
Yeah, hi, Allie. I was checking SpaceX's Twitter handle, and they were just talking about it's 60% favorable, so that means about 40% that they might not do it today, and I'll show you the reason why. So look at this. This is the tropical satellite, and you can see the big yellow X there. That is a system that could develop into a depression, but if it doesn't, it's just spreading some showers and storms into the southeast part of the United States. Look what it's doing right around Cape Canaveral. Those are showers and thunderstorms that have been popping up this morning there. And again, later today, let's zoom down to Cape Canaveral. Here's the forecast at launch time. Their time, 4:33. Rain likely after 5, but you see the rain there this morning. Mid-80s, south-southeast wind at 10. So a chance of showers and thunderstorms in that area. And again, that becomes likely after 5. So they're really cutting it close on this. It's going to be fun to watch. And of course, we'll have our forecast coming up in just a bit.
Okay, Jim, thank you. Again, that launch is scheduled for 3:33 this afternoon. That's our time. Now, if the launch doesn't go as scheduled, the next window will be on Saturday. If it does, we will run a special report right here on 5 on your side, as well as on our social media platforms.
Yeah, the party was absolutely slammed. There was supposedly like 1,600 people were there. I have absolutely no regrets. It was a banger down there and I enjoyed every minute of it.
He partied with the big crowds at the Lake of the Ozarks over the weekend and he has no regrets. We told you last half hour, while this man says he will not quarantine and will keep on working, others are being told to stay home from work for 2 weeks without pay. The man also told us there's something you don't see in the videos: employees taking everyone's temperature at the door and before they got into the swimming pool. But it is that enough? We do know that asymptomatic people can carry the virus. And coming up, we ask the experts whether those crowds at the lake could lead to a second spike of cases. Now, Missouri Governor Mike Parson and St. Louis County Executive Sam Page have expressed their disapproval for the lack of social distancing at the lake. They will likely discuss those matters again today at their press briefings. Dr. Page will address the media about expanded testing when he speaks at 8:30 this morning. Governor Mike Parson speaks at 3 o'clock this afternoon. 5 on your side will stream the briefings on our Facebook page.
This week, clergy leaders are distributing more than 125,000 masks to our area churches, planning to reopen next month. It's all about keeping worshipers safe. Now, distribution for city churches will continue today from 9 to 5 at the Lively Stone Church of God. That's in the Greaterville neighborhood. And then distribution for county churches will happen tomorrow and Friday at Mount Beulah Missionary Baptist Church. That's in the Hanley Hills neighborhood.
I'm Jenna Barnes at Six Flags, where we're getting a closer look at the safety rules that will be in place when the park reopens. People will have to book reservations ahead of time, and anyone over the age of 2 will be required to wear a mask inside the park. Six Flags is offering additional perks to members and season ticket holders, but they're not offering refunds to anyone who cancels. So far, Six Flags has not set a reopening date. They say they're waiting for their plan to be approved by health officials.
Now, this is a pretty cool deal. Pizza Hut is teaming up with several local school districts, and they're donating more than 750 pizzas to their local meal programs. Today, families in the districts listed right here on the screen will get a free pizza dinner when they pick up lunch at their meal locations.
Well, as kids prepare for summer break, schools in our area are really working around the clock to game plan for the fall. I spoke with Parkway School's Assistant Superintendent, Kevin Beckner, about what school might look like next year. He says the most challenging part about all of this is not knowing what the situation is going to be in 3 months. So they're having to plan around CDC guidelines that make coming back to school seem nearly impossible.
Our schools were built for classrooms with between 20 and 26 students in them, and so spreading them out just poses new challenges and new difficulties for us. You know, we have activities like science labs where people share equipment, or PE where they're sharing all their materials.
That's why Beckner says they're coming up with 3 separate plans, one that brings all the students back in the fall, one that continues remote learning, and one that would basically be a combination of the two. Planning is in the early stages, and they will go to the public for input.